Starting in January 2024, Kenya has updated their entry requirements. You now need an electronic travel authorization to go to Kenya. This is to replace the Kenya e-visa system. If you have applied for Kenya e-visa and it's got a valid date and everything, don't worry, it is still valid. However, if you're going to Kenya and you discover you do need this eTA, you can apply for it on their official website, which I've linked in the description below. To get started, let's click on this red Apply Now button. You see on this page, they show you how to apply and who this is valid for. So for all travelers, you will need a valid passport valid for at least 6 months after your planned date of arrival into Kenya. This is pretty standard for most countries, and one blank page. You'll need a photo of yourself. This could be a selfie or passport style photo. I always encourage travelers to use a blank background, like a white background, just so it's clear for the immigration officials. They want your contact information, details of your arrival and departure into Kenya, your accommodation booking confirmations, and a payment method. So here, as we scroll down, there are some other things that they may require, like information on your financial assets, a return transportation booking, like a flight. Based on your country of residence and your travel history, you may need to show that you have a yellow fever certificate or any other vaccinations. And like it says here, this will depend on your residency or your travel history. They also say that based on the purpose of your visit, you may be required a letter and or appointment letter from your doctor, conference invitation, and employment contract supporting documents. These are not going to be for tourists, highly unlikely for tourists, I should say. We also have information here for business visits, family visits, and diplomatic travel, but most people applying for this are going just to be tourists. So you can see here that the processing time will vary depending on the ETA and your country of citizenship, though it tends to take about 3 working days. And if you do want a quicker turnaround, you should apply for the premium service. So once you're ready to get started, go ahead and click Continue. Here we have this declaration of consent. Read through it, make sure you understand it. Basically, it's just the terms and conditions and that you're gonna behave. Once you have read through this and you understand everything, go ahead and tick that box to say that you have read and agreed to the above. And if you want more information about special offers and exciting updates, you can go ahead and tick that box. I have no idea what they'll send you, but if it appeals to you, go ahead and tick it. Otherwise, click Continue. And you see here, we have an individual application and a group application. So an individual, if you're traveling by yourself, I would do this. A group application, if you're traveling as a family, I would recommend doing this. If you're a couple, do this one as well. Friends living together, do this one. So once you're ready, you can click on the one that applies to you. And you see here, they want to know, where do you live? Go ahead and type where you live and then click Continue. The first bit of information they want from you is the biographic data page of your passport. So that's going to be that page with your picture on it. Once you've uploaded that, click Continue. Just make sure it's a legible copy. Make sure it's not blurry. They don't want to see your thumbprint in there. Just make sure it's nice and clear. Once you're ready, click Continue. Here you need to submit a selfie or a photo of yourself. I would do a passport style photo. If you don't have a passport style photo, take a selfie of yourself with a white background. Make sure there are no shadows covering your face or anything like that. Just use a nice clear photo. It doesn't say if you can smile or not, so I would just look grumpy, as most passport photos do. And once you're ready, go ahead and click Use this photo. Here on this page, you just want to enter in your contact information. Make sure you do so correctly. Double check that email address because that's where your approval is going to be sent. And once you're ready, go ahead and click Continue. On this page, they basically just want to know, what are you doing in Kenya and when are you coming and leaving? So first, you're going to start with this primary purpose of visit. So the top bit is basically tourism. The second bit is work, and then other. So if you're transiting in Kenya, you're going to want to do this in the transit bit. If it's just tourism, go ahead and select tourism. If you are having your honeymoon in Kenya, that's fantastic. Go ahead and select that. Otherwise, select which one applies to you. And then you're going to input your arrival details. So if you don't know your flight details, pull up your flight details and cross-check against that. If you don't have any flights booked, I would definitely just maybe have some in mind what you were going to be arriving on. Some nationalities might even be required to show proof of flights, so just bear that one in mind if you come across that. Departure details, they want to know when you're leaving, and your addresses in Kenya. So a lot of places in Kenya, if you're going on safari, are going to be so remote that they don't actually have a physical address. So what you could do is just put that first night of your trip in Kenya if you are going on safari and doing all of that. Otherwise, you can add more addresses as you see there. But if you're just going on safari, you're going into the Mara, Amboseli, that sort of thing, I would just put maybe your first place that you're staying at in Nairobi, assuming that you're flying into Nairobi first. But as always, answer all of these questions truthfully and then click continue. Here on this page, they just want you to answer some questions about yourself. Where were you born? What was your nationality at birth? They want to know, what is your marital status? Have you previously been to Kenya? Answer that question, yes or no. Have you previously been denied entry to Kenya? Answer that truthfully, yes or no. Have you ever been convicted of any offense? Yes or no. And was your trip financed by a third party? Yes or no. And once you've done this, go ahead and click continue. On this page, you're going to complete your customs declaration. Read through each question and answer it as truthfully as possible. If you're not sure, I would just think about it. Are you really going to be bringing in this product that they're asking you? Don't overthink it. You don't need to overcomplicate this. I know a lot of people do get quite worked up with customs declarations. I've seen it at airports where people panic and they say, yes, I have food. I bought a box of chocolates and duty free. And the customs officer, it just waves them through. But answer these as truthfully as possible. And once you're ready, go ahead and click continue. This page is your health declaration. So answer these questions truthfully. And once you're ready, go ahead and click continue. On this page, they want to know if you have insurance, yes or no. I always recommend travelers travel with insurance. You really don't know what could happen. I have heard all the horror stories, and I do know that repatriation can cost hundreds of thousands of US dollars. I always recommend looking at insurance policies that have a minimum coverage of 250,000 US dollars for repatriation and also a minimum of $100,000 for medical. If you've got a private policy, chances are it's not going to cover you for Kenya. It might, but talk to your insurance provider. Again, I strongly recommend everybody travels with insurance. You just never know what could happen. I've been to over 100 countries and all 7 continents. I've been very lucky, but I always travel with insurance because you just never know. So once you're ready, go ahead and click continue. Here on this page, you need to submit your required documents. So the accommodation booking confirmations, if you've booked through a safari tour operator, they can provide you with those documents. If you've booked those accommodations yourself, you should have those on hand. If you're staying with friends and family, they can provide you with a letter of invitation, and there's more information there on what they need to include. For the airline booking confirmation, I would recommend that if you haven't booked your flights, that maybe now is the time to do so. And I suggest that because I have seen with other countries, Tanzania in particular, who will reject a visa application if you don't have a flight confirmation booked. If you're nervous that you're not going to get your Kenya ETA and your trip's going to be ruined, maybe look at booking a completely refundable fare just to have that peace of mind if you can afford it. And so what you need to do there is you then need to upload it to here. You can see that if you haven't booked it yet, you can save and exit and come back to your application. But this would be the time to upload your flight confirmation. They just want to make sure you are coming and you're definitely leaving. So once you're ready, go ahead and click continue. On this page, it's basically a declaration. Have a read through, make sure you understand it, and select which of these options best applies to you. There's a section for additional notes. I'm really not sure what you'd put there. So once you're ready, go ahead and click continue. You'll see that when you click continue, it asks, do you want to enable notifications, and that they'll send a notification to your advice when your applications are reviewed and approved. That sounds a bit dodgy to me. So quite honestly, I've given them my email. I'm just gonna click skip. If you're okay with that, that's fine. You can see here, it takes you now to the processing page. Now, I'm aware that there is a premium service somewhere out there. I'm guessing that because at the time of this demonstration, it's January, this system has only just been launched, and my contacts in Kenya did say that there was this premium service. I'm guessing it's just not been launched at the time of me doing this tutorial. If by the time you do it and it's there and you want to pay for it, perfect, go for it. But at the time, we can only do a standard processing. So I'm just going to click this here. I'm going to click continue, and it's then going to take me to this page where I'm going to input my payment details. And you can see here there are all these different payment options. And now for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm not going to make a payment on an application, but what I've been told is that once you do make your payment, you're going to get a receipt confirming that your application has been received. And upon decision by an immigration officer, you're going to get an email confirming your approval or refusal. And so if it's been approved, you need to either print the PDF document that's attached to the email, or you need to download it and you can save it to your mobile device to show, or you can save it in the Kenya Travel Authorization mobile app. I don't know anything about the mobile app, and I will say that any government-run app that I have seen has been really glitchy, so I would not rely on that. So I would either print it or have it on your phone. Personally, I would print it. I don't want to be handing my phone over to the airline or the immigration officials to check it. I just think that having the printout is easier. If your application has been denied, you won't be able to go to Kenya at the moment. So what I would suggest doing is reaching out to your local Kenyan embassy, seeing if maybe they can provide you with some clarity on what happened. Maybe they can have you do a visa application that way. I'm not sure if they have phased those out with the introduction of this eTA. There is a contact email address for support where you could discuss this with them. My experience with this is good luck getting a response, but maybe you'll get one. There is an email address, and I'll put that in the description below. And if you want to check the status of your application, you can visit the URL that I've put in the description below at any time. So also, just to bear in mind, children under 18 still do need a visa, and as a family, you're going to want to apply as a group. So this is basically it. If you have done the Kenya e-visa application before, this probably looks so much easier than what the previous application was like. So that's it. You're going to go to Kenya, you're going to have a great time, and it's that easy.